Hi, my name is Gibson, and I'm the co-owner and creator of the Personal Development School. This is your daily breakthrough video, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about fearful avoidance and anxious preoccupied, and this idea that sometimes fearful avoidance or anxious preoccupied individuals carry because of their previous programming, which I like to call the "if he or she loves me" syndrome. Okay. And it's this idea, it's not a real syndrome, by the way. I'm sure that's obvious enough though, but it's this idea that fearful avoidance and anxious preoccupied individuals carry because they often operate under these cognitive distortions of mind reading or fortune telling. They are like always trying to read between the lines about what people want from them, what they need, what they expect. And then they go out of their way to try to do those things. And then because they do that, they project that onto somebody else and they think, well, I do that. So if I'm doing that, then that person, if they love me, they would do the same thing. And it creates all these pain points because of these subconscious expectations that get projected out onto a relationship. And then when that doesn't happen, or the person doesn't mind read your needs back or go above and beyond to do something back, then you give it meaning and you say, well, then the person doesn't love me, or the person doesn't care, or the person, their feelings are changing, or we're growing apart, the relationship is ending. And all of these fears based on other previously stored associations and programs rise to the surface and get meddled into the relationship. And this can be a very challenging thing. So if this is you, rest assured, this is changeable, this is reprogrammable, and we'll dive in this video to talking a little bit about some root causes and what to do. And then if you're looking to reprogram your attachment style as a whole and really make the necessary changes so you can have like free and empowering relationships and feel happy and fulfilled, and like literally every day right now, we see people in new, healthy relationships inside of the school, becoming secure, feeling like their relationships are even better than just your average securely attached person because they understand all these deeper dynamics and they've done all this deep work in relationships to themselves. So they're so clear about what they want. Anyways, so I'm babbling because we got tons of feedback today through emails from people. And I was like, wow, this is so exciting. Just all these beautiful shares about people's relationships came in today, and like it was just really nice to see their experiences. Anyway, so coupon code if you want to join the school, it's with you, it's all one word, for 25% off membership bundles. So you get access to our whole community, to all of our live webinars, all the previously recorded webinars. There's like 150 different topics, all of our 30 plus pre-recorded courses in depth with workbooks, materials, everything to like guide you through reprogramming. And I'll put a link in the description box below and on this video. So how does this happen? Why does this take place? Well, because normally fearful avoidance and anxious preoccupied both share an adaptation when it comes to their programming. And this adaptation is that they learn that they have to try to control their environment and control the dynamics of relationships in order to not be abandoned or in order to stay safe. And so both individuals usually become quite adept at understanding relationship dynamics and reading between the lines and doing something called mind reading, which literally is a form of cognitive distortion. So it's this idea that, for example, we go, oh, James didn't call me back, and so that must mean he doesn't care, or we give meaning to things. Now, even those pieces of meaning come from previously stored wounds. Those pieces of meaning don't come from exactly necessarily just this moment, but usually the type, because you could make it mean anything. You could make it mean that James is busy. You could make it mean that James is in another relationship and he was cheating the whole time. You could make it mean that James is sad and he's depressed and I have to take care of him. You could make it mean anything, but the type of meaning you give to those experiences is not going to be based on something random. It's going to be based on what previous experiences you have and what your subconscious mind pulls from and then projects onto the present moment. And so that's something really important to be aware of. Now, in some ways, the really interesting thing about this is that for some fearful avoidance and anxious preoccupied, the mind reading cognitive distortion, the giving meaning and thinking what's happening in somebody else's mind, in some ways it's positively reinforced for both of these attachment styles, because sometimes you become so clear about noticing patterns and you can read between the lines, and sometimes you are correct. But if you're 50% correct or 75% correct, and I will tell you, for insecurely attached individuals, for all people really, we don't mind read above 75%. And you're not actually mind reading, by the way. It's just the name of the cognitive distortion. I'm sure that was clear as well, but just in case. And sometimes you might be even correct about this. So number one, you don't really get above 70. You're not calling it all the time, okay? And that 25% can be really painful. That 25% can be like, you made it mean that you are unloved and nobody cares about you. Meanwhile, somebody's caught in a meeting, right? Or somebody, is going through something themselves, and so they can't be there for you. Like, it could be so many things other than that cognitive distortion. And so it's really important to recognize that, because that 25% can literally be a deal breaker in a relationship. And it's also important to recognize that even if you do get that 75% right, okay, and even if, and I'm just pulling out a number based on patterns I've seen, this isn't like I have exact evidence for the exact percentage. I'm just giving you like a framework to work with, or like an awareness. So let's say that is, you're getting it around 75% of the time. You might think, oh, James is less interested in the relationship. We're growing apart. And you might be correct, but you might make that mean it's because you're unworthy and not good enough. And for James, it might be because he's feeling criticized and he feels like something's wrong with him with criticism, and he can't take that pain. And so even if like the surface thing you get correct, you don't know all of the depths of somebody's subconscious programming and wounds and where they come from and how that person experiences things, unless you have like a conscious conversation and have communication about it. And so mind reading like doesn't go well. It's not a good, sorry, I have like a fly in the room. I always leave my doors and windows open. Not like overnight or anything, just I'm on the second floor of my house and there's a little area. So, like people are like coming in my house at night now. Okay. So, sorry, I thought that was, I have a family member. Okay, hold on. So that cognitive distortion does not work that well. And that's something really important to recognize. It's not like a very effective thing. So what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to open up dialogue and communication instead. So what does this look like? This looks like, number one, if he or she loves me, they would do this, is actually just a symptom of you not communicating needs. And often a symptom of you not knowing your needs or not feeling safe that you can communicate your needs or worthy or deserving of communicating your needs. And that can even be like a fear as well for some people of being a burden, but it can be like, oh, if I communicate my needs, I'll be a burden or I'll be abandoned. Like it can be sort of this like path for different people in what thought leads to what thought and so on and so forth. So something that's really important for you to do if you find yourself in this position, go like this. If he or she loves me, then they would fill in the blanks, and you fill in the blanks. What would they do? Would they bring you dinner? Would they call you back faster? Would they communicate more often? Would they validate you? What are those things? And then recognize that those are needs that you have to communicate in the relationship. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to look at it and go, what do I make it mean when he or she doesn't do the call back or the making dinner or whatever it might be? Do I make it mean I'm disrespected? I'm not cared for? And can I really know that? And question that story, and then go have a conversation that says, hey, this is really important to me. This need really matters to me. And, I notice when it doesn't happen, I experience that as me like not being cared for at all, or me being unimportant to you in your life. And like, I could even use a little bit of validation and reinforcement that that's not how you feel. Or if that is what you're starting to feel, like, where is that coming from? And is there something that we need to resolve from your end? What's your experience? And when we open up and have conscious conversation, we gain the ability to be able to navigate and break through these things. And we end this painful cycle of telling ourselves these painful stories and not getting our needs met combined. So really important work to do. I hope that makes sense. Thank you so much for being here and for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you're getting a lot of value out of this channel. And I will see you in the next video.